Okay, so this video is going to go through question C because it's a little bit of a tricky one. Okay, so using the half equation method, I need to balance this redox equation, and I'm going to use the cohes steps. Okay, so firstly I just need to write my really basic skeletal equations for my half reactions. So I've got chromium oxide here going to chromium 3+, and I'll start with this half reaction and balance this first. Okay, so first step is to balance the key elements. So I've got 2 chromium on this side, so I need to balance that. Okay, so 2 chromium, so that's done. Balance oxygen by adding water. Okay, so I've got 7 oxygen on that side and no oxygen on this side, so I'm going to have to add 7 waters. Okay, so that's good. Next step, balance hydrogen by adding H+. Okay, so I've got 14 hydrogen on this side, so I'm going to have to add 14 hydrogen to that side. So that's done. And now balance total charge by adding electrons. Okay, so need to balance out the charges. So I've got a 14 plus charge minus 2, so I've got a plus 12 charge over on this side. And then on this side I've got 2 lots of 3+, so I've got a 6+ charge on that side. So I need to balance these charges, and the only way I can do that is to add electrons. So I need to decide what side I'm going to add electrons to. Okay, and so if I add 6 electrons to this side, it's going to bring that charge down to +6, and that's balancing the charges there, so that's good. Okay, and then add the states. So aqueous, 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 and liquid for water. All right, so that's my first half reaction completely balanced. So now I need to balance my second half reaction. Okay, so just getting rid of that to neaten it up a little bit. Skeletal equation, I've got H2S going to S there, sulfur. So I'm going to go through these cohes steps again. Balance the key elements. Okay, so sulfur here, 1, 1, that's all good. Balance oxygen by adding H2O. Well, I don't have any oxygen, so that's okay. Balance hydrogen. So 2 hydrogen on that side, so I need to add 2 hydrogen to this side. So that's good. And balance total charge by adding electrons. All right, so overall charge of 0 on this side, overall charge of 2+ on this side. So I need to add electrons, and I need to decide what side to add electrons to, and I'm going to add electrons to this side because that brings that down to 0, and that side is 0 too, so that's good. Balance charges, add states. So my H2S was a gas, just look at the question for a little bit of help there. S is a solid, aqueous, and electrons have no charge. Okay, so now I've got my 2 half reactions, I need to add them together. Okay, but the first thing I need to do is make sure my electrons are the same value, okay? Because if one reaction is accepting electrons, well, the other reaction has to be giving the same electrons, okay? You can't receive something that you're not being given. So it has to be the same. So we've got 2 electrons here and 6 electrons there, so I need to make that into 6. And the way that I'm going to do that is multiply everything here by 3. So if I went and did that, I would have 3 here, 3 there, 3 times 2 is 6 hydrogen, and 6 electrons now. Okay, so you might like to rewrite that whole equation after you've multiplied by 3, but I've just fix that one up there and then. Okay, so I multiplied everything by 3 to get the 6 electrons here to be the same as that there. Okay, so now I'm ready to add them together. So now I just need to add all my reactants together. Okay, so I've got 6 electrons plus my ion here, 14 H plus 3. Okay, I'll add the states in a sec. 2 chromium, 3s, 6 H plus, 7 waters, 6 electrons. Okay, final step is to cancel out my electrons. So try and cancel what you can. Okay, so I can cancel out my electrons. And what I can also actually do is I can see if I have waters on both sides or H plus ions on both sides, because if I do, what I can do is actually minus the smallest number to make it 0. So I've got 14 H plus here, 6 H plus here. So what I can do is actually eliminate that and eliminate 6 from that side. So 14 minus 6 is 8. So I'm left with 8 hydrogen ions. Okay, I've cancelled out my electrons. So I can rewrite my full equation now after cancelling those two things. Okay, aqueous plus 3H2S, okay, which is a gas, aqueous 2 chromium 3 plus, aqueous, which is a solid. I cancel those out. Okay, water, there was no water on this side, so we can keep all those 7 waters there, and then I've cancelled my electrons. So that is the answer to that question. Bit of a long question and pretty involved, but if you follow the steps and just be really careful with the different numbers and cancelling and things like that, hopefully that was okay.